Our region's business is sponsored by PNC Bank, solutions that help you achieve your goals in life. PNC, leading the way. And by Heffron Tillotson, a history of meticulous wealth management since 1948. Welcome to Our Region's Business with your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, we're on the cutting edge of the TerraGrid, a supercomputing network that's pushing the envelope across sciences. And we're the center of the chemical industry, at least for a day. Last week was Pittsburgh Chemical Day, one of the industry's largest one-day conferences in America, and an annual reminder that hundreds of chemical companies operate in our region, many of them innovating new products that are changing the way we live. Cal Dooley is in town this week. He's president and CEO of the American Chemistry Council. And joining him are two locally based CEOs, Randy Dearth, the president and CEO of LANXESS Corporation, and Chris Pappas, the brand new CEO of Nova Chemicals, both companies based right here in our region. And welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Yeah, I guess this is sort of a hotbed of the chemical industry. A lot of Pittsburghers, you think the metals tradition here. A lot of us don't even know that there's a lot of chemical industry leaders here.
Well, Randy and Chris are two examples of terrific chemical companies that are providing terrific jobs. They're on the leading edge in developing of innovations and technology and products that are contributing to greater energy efficiency, alternative fuels, and just a whole host of products which are really providing great value to the local economy. There's about 13,000 jobs in the Pittsburgh region associated with the chemistry industry, and about 46,000 in Pennsylvania as a whole. So this is a big industry that's paying good wages for a lot of the families in this state.
There are a lot of corporate R&D and research around here as well. I guess right in our region, it's not so much about making chemicals, although we do that, but an awful lot of engineering and innovation. Right?
Oh, absolutely. We estimate here in southwestern Pennsylvania that the 200 or so chemical companies probably spend over $5 billion in R&D. That's a lot, and especially nowadays with green chemistry and all the challenges we face, I'm happy it's here.
Yeah, and Chris, Nova, you're doing both, right? You're innovating and manufacturing right here.
We manufacture, of course, locally, Bill, and we also innovate. We have some really interesting products in green chemistry. We were just in Harrisburg last week, a group of our people meeting with Governor Rendell and others about insulative products for new building techniques that build buildings faster with much lower energy costs in use, and really had a terrific reception there. Because infrastructure and green chemistry are, of course, big things for the future for us. So we're spending a lot of time in that area at Nova.
Well, I was out at Nova a few weeks ago and got a little bit of a glimpse of some of the things you're doing with, of all things, concrete. And you found a way you can actually innovate with concrete.
Well, we can make it lighter and have insulative properties. Concrete, as is, has no insulative value. Huh. If you put a little bit of our Elemix is our product now, it's an expanded polystyrene product, into concrete, it raises the insulation value of the concrete, but lightweights it by about 20%, which is huge because now you can build buildings that are as strong with lighter weight, less steel, lower cost, faster, and greener. And
wow.
So it's a fantastic product. Just introduced it.
20% out of the weight of concrete. That's meaningful. That's not incremental, right? That's a big number.
Yeah.
The same kinds of things happening within LANXESS, Randy? Is that where the action is these days?
We, for instance, take plastics. In 1977, we estimate there was about 150 pounds of plastic in the car. Today, it's well over 350. And when you reduce the weight of the car by, say, 10%, you can increase your fuel efficiency by 8%. So when you look at, is the chemical industry contributing to the CO2 emissions, and are they inventing green things? Absolutely. We're there.
No, Cal, you hear all the talk these days, and I'm sure you're down in D.C. It's all the talk, energy and environment back and forth, and it sounds like the chemistry industry or the chemicals industry really has a part to play in all of this.
Well, absolutely. I mean, what we're really focused on in with the public policy agenda right now is ensuring that we have an energy policy which maintains the competitiveness of these companies and others, to ensure that if we implement a climate change policy that reduces our greenhouse gases, that we still allow U.S.-based companies to compete and win internationally internationally. Because if they're not, we're going to see all this innovation, all these new technologies are being developed in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania and throughout the country will leave the United States. And that's why we're pleased that there's been some strong leadership from the Pennsylvania delegation to ensure that we can make reductions in our greenhouse gases, but protect the competitiveness internationally of our U.S. companies.
Well, if I'm going to talk about this, it seems like down in Congress, it's like the energy debate is here and sort of the environment debate is over here, and they almost sound like they're heading in two different paths.
Well, it's unfortunate. You know, at the American Chemistry Council, we believe very strongly they have to move in tandem because you have to ensure that we see the full development of our domestic energy supply that includes efficiency, includes alternatives, but it also includes clean coal technologies, nuclear, as well as the utilization of our domestic sources of natural gas and oil. And if we do that, we can also ensure we have the new technologies that allow us to reduce our greenhouse gases. But you're right, they have to move together, and if we're going to protect manufacturing jobs and chemistry jobs in this region of the country, it is absolutely critical that we see a balanced approach to achieving greater energy security.
Well, and your industry is really at a connection point in all of this. Not only are you solution providers, but you're also major energy users. Natural gas issues have to be a real challenge for you.
Yeah, no, it is. And just to give you a statistic on that, take insulation material, which is a product of chemistry. For every BTU that it takes for us to produce that material, we save 40 BTUs in terms of energy efficiency. So yes, we are part of that solution. And going forward, we need to think outside of the box more and more so that we can come up with more of those chemistries, more of those technologies, so that we use the energy more efficiently.
And Chris, I see you nodding. I mean, this is...
Well, on the natural gas side, you know, the chemical industry in the U.S. is primarily on feedstocks and natural gas-based industry. Not exclusively, but primarily. And therefore, having competitively priced feedstock, natural gas, is critical to maintain the strength of the U.S. chemical industry, North American chemical industry, but also to maintain our strength as exporters. We're one of the largest exporting industries in North America, and we're able to do that because we have a competitive source of feedstock in the form of low-cost natural gas. And being able, as Cal said, to access additional sources of natural gas, both onshore and offshore, I think are critical not only to energy policy, but to feedstock availability for the chemical industry to maintain our competitiveness. And today we are very competitive, and in the case of Nova, we export at times almost 20% of our product to outside of North America, and that's because we have a cost advantage position to do that.
Interesting. So Cal, do you see these arguments coming together in Congress, or are they still on two different aisles down there?
No, I think at the end of the day that you know, that you're going to see these issues come together. If they're going to be dealt with in this session of Congress, I think it's almost inevitable that they will come together. And, you know, our industry has such a great story to tell because, you know, we are a solution provider. Again, the innovations, the technologies, the new products. Since 1990, we reduced our greenhouse gases by 16% as an industry. We have reduced our emissions per unit of output by 40%. We would have been compliant with the Kyoto protocols if they were put in place. So we're not saying no to a climate change policy. We're just saying it has to be the right climate change policy that ensures that we can be competitive internationally, and that also requires the full development of our domestic energy sources.
Okay, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the economy and what you're out there on the front lines of what's happening globally and see if there's a pulse out there yet. So we'll be back in just a moment with more about our region's chemical expertise. Stay with us.